But you know what else is right?
Wrestling.
I like how you switched it up there. Yeah. Wrestling? Football?
Well, there's not much football. Football's over. It's over. It's ogre.
It is indeed ogre. There's no more games. They canceled the rest of the NFL season. All because of... Shall I even say her name? Shall I even give her the satisfaction of saying her name out loud on this show, which, from what I'm hearing, right, on the grapevine, one of the top sports podcasts
Based?
in South Maryville.
I mean, I can't deny that.
That's what the metrics are telling me. They're telling me we're huge in we're huge in Lower Blount County, Schenectady, New York, weirdly enough, and Saudi
weird.
Arabia. Yeah, no, yeah. So
I mean, the last one makes sense. Big wrestling show.
I just made all that up. I just made all that up.
Oh, well, no, I don't believe you. I think that's absolutely true.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Our metrics are weird. It's 99% guys, by the way. In case you were wondering. I mean, you already knew, but you knew.
It's
You knew.
yeah.
Even our other shows like 95% guys or something is rough. So, but hey, listen, for the ladies listening,
Well, speaking of women,
why?
hold on. Let me cook for a moment here, all right? So,
Okay.
I'm starting off with the college news today because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a bit of
Oh,
college
God.
news that's close to home. And going with my segue, came out I think either today or yesterday. I put it somewhere yesterday. NCAA investigating the Vols for NIL violations.
Listen, that's how you know y'all are back, by the way. When y'all are
Right,
getting investigated for
absolutely.
being low down, dirty, lying, crooked, that's when you know Tennessee Volunteers are back.
They're claiming that we broke some fucking NCAA rules with our recruitment of our current quarterback, Nico. I'm gonna leave you. So they're investigating us, and in response, both.
I'm sorry, Blood's
Tennessee-
name is I'ma Leave You?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but that's how it's written. So
That's not great for the future of the program, honestly. Like, let's
no,
hope
it's
that's
not. It's really not.
let's hope that's not sign things to come.
And now let me find out if this person's actually a woman or not.
Wait, who?
Donde Plowman. He's a woman.
Plowman.
Is a woman.
Plowman. What did she do?
Donde
Sorry,
Plowman.
I didn't catch her
the
involvement in this.
chancellor. So she's the chancellor of the University of Tennessee, and her.
Oh, if you
along
told
with
me it
our
was a chancellor, I
governor-
could have told you it was a woman. Like that's a woman's job.
that-
Like I don't think
no,
that's
so
sexist. I don't think that's even sexist either. So
Sure. Her, the governor of the great state of Tennessee, and I believe someone in the Virginia the Virginia Attorney General, all collectively got together to sue the NCAA. over these
Based.
claims. Yeah, so in retaliation, we are now suing the NCAA, which you really love to see.
Based.
Fuck those guys.
Does your prude Papa Top in the background there? Was that you?
Yeah, that was in fact a Diet Dr. Thunder you heard in the background.
Hell yeah, brother. That's how you know it's gonna be a hot night.
Oh yeah.
And by hot night, I do have to announce Tim will not be here tonight. Tim is out in Vegas. He's out at a car show, not car show. Like I don't know. He's schmoozing. He's doing a little schmoozing.
Right. He's he does a lot of things. He's a business guy.
Yeah.
We don't. Not
He's
our
wheeling,
position to question
dealing,
what
jet
back alley
flying,
deals he's getting on.
styling. Woo! He's essentially the Ric Flair of White House.
I'll tell you what, there were some business deals going on in the wrestling world.
Man, was there?
Some
So I think like
not so hot ones.
the first thing to really talk about is like apparently The Rock is now on the board.
Yeah, we talked about that
Did
last
we?
week. I was more talking about the lawsuit.
Oh, I thought that happened this week, and because I thought those two things happened like right next to each other.
No, it was about a week apart.
Oh, okay. I have a bad perception of time.
The old lady who came up with the accusations realized, oh, this is a good time a week after these big announcements
Right.
of the new TV deal came out. We're going to hit them now, which, I guess when you're looking to get some money, when money gets announced, it's a good time to go.
Gotta
for
strike
it.
while the iron's hot, as they say.
Yeah. Starting back to college, though, Michigan replacing their head coach with their OC, Sharon Moore.
I'm devastated by this news, by the way.
Yeah, you wanted old Brian Kelly to have
I
it
wanted to
there.
be Brian Kelly so bad, man. Because he won't leave for anything else, right? Like
Right.
that was his job, like his dream job for some reason. I don't know why anyone's dream would be to be in Michigan, but whatever.
People from the north, them Yanks are insane.
Wait, you're telling me that he's a Yankee after how he flawlessly pronounced family? You're telling me that man's
Yes.
a Yankee? Wow.
Yep.
Bold.
You want to live in Michigan, you're a Yankee.
What about the Upper Peninsula? It's kind of based.
Listen,
It's like cold Mississippi.
there's a lot. There might be Bay stuff up there,
Okay.
but it's still not the South.
That's true. Did we want to come back to the Vince thing? Because there was kind of a bit to talk about there.
I was gonna kind of do a whole wrestling segment after we went
okay.
through what football stuff.
Okay.
I figure we save it for that.
Yeah.
And then I guess the last college adjacent news I saw from this week was former LSU and current Patriots wide receiver Kayshon Boutte was arrested this week.
All-time name, by the way.
Yeah, for placing more than 8,900 bets while underage with a fake account while playing at LSU.
That's honestly impressive. That's a lot of bets, right?
It's a lot of bets.
That's a lot of bets. And is there a time frame attached to that, or is it just like?
I think this was like within 2 years or something. Like it was a ridiculous amount of bets. Yeah,
that's like.
And he was reported to have like lost $50,000 in gambling. So
that's over 10 bets a day.
Yeah, bro wasn't doing hot. He was also betting on himself. I believe he bet on himself in an 8-leg parlay in his like debut game for LSU.
How'd that go for him?
I don't know if you recall, but he I don't believe he caught a ball until the fourth quarter.
Ooh. Man, it's one thing to get busted for something, right? It's one thing to get busted for something. It's another thing to get busted for something and it turns out you sucked at it.
Right. I mean, it's a good thing he was betting the overs because if he was betting the unders on himself,
right.
That'd be even worse to go with his performance there.
Man. My brother Booty.
Yeah, old boy's probably going to be banned from football for life for that.
Yeah, and
is what it is.
On the one hand, that's kind of bullshit. But on the other, if you're a football player and you know the game and you're supposed to be good at it, and you're losing a bunch of money betting on the inside.
Yeah, you're losing $50K betting on the inside.
Maybe you deserve to be banned from football.
For real.
So, think about that.
And I believe that's all I had for college this week, unless you saw anything noteworthy.
I didn't.
All right, well, speaking of coaches, since old Michigan got their head coach, quite a few coach hirings in the NFL. Starting off with the Panthers, they decided to go with the Bucks OC Dave. How do I want to pronounce this? Canales. That's what I'm calling it.
Canales?
Canales. Canales.
I think it's Connect. No, yeah. You know what? I don't know. I don't care.
All right. Well. So let me give you this guy's coaching timeline.
Okay.
So the previous year, he was QB coach in Seattle. So he was Geno's coach with his return to form last year.
Okay.
Not bad for QB development there.
No.
Then he came to Tampa to be the OC for Baker. Baker had a pretty solid return to form this year.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be the head coach of Bryce in Carolina. So
okay, I could see it.
Best of luck. Best of luck.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope the owner doesn't say, fuck it, you're done after a year.
Yeah, I'd say you are having a fight against like a bipolar billionaire, so good luck with that.
Right, so good luck with that. I mean, the dude's very young. I think he's like 38 or some shit, so... And you'd think that's the youngest head coach in the NFL. No? Well, no, it's not. Well, he's actually 42, but someone was 38. Today, the Seahawks hired Ravens DC Mike McDonald, 36-year-old,
wow,
to be their new head coach. Bro is half the age of Pete Carroll.
That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, so I mean, Ravens did have a pretty good defense, minus. I mean, even this week they had a pretty good defense. So
Yeah, that was one of the few things that could be said about it.
yeah. So we'll see how he does. I don't really know a lot about the guy beyond being a good defensive coach this year. So, so the Fail Clowns, Atlanta Fail Clowns, they were like the big hype target for Bill Belichick.
Right.
All their fans wanted it. You know who they got?
Who'd they get?
Yeah, Raheem Morris.
Who?
So Raheem Morris, I believe, has been a head coach in the past. I think most recently he was defensive coordinator for the Rams in LA. Let's see. He was a head coach somewhere. Yeah, he was the Bucks head coach in 2009 through 2011. Got fired because he had a bad record. Hopped around the league a bit. Now he's head coach of Atlanta. Instead of, Bill Belichick, they went for a failed head coach who lasted 2 years at his previous job.
Bolt. Instead of going for like the all-time legend in the NFL, you get some random guy.
Yep.
Now, you said that name, and I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of assumptions on him, which I'm assuming are correct.
Right.
Do you think maybe that was more a... What's the word I'm looking for? How do I be real PG about this? A front office by the numbers decision, if you know what I mean? Kind of a 2020,
Possible, I guess.
kind of a 2021 draft with the 49ers kind of situation. If you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Ooh. Ooh. Sure.
I mean, potentially, right? Atlanta.
It's certainly
right?
possible.
Yeah, so I'm just saying. But hey, best of luck, guys. Best of luck, Fail Clowns. Hey, hate to see you fail. Oof, tear me up inside.
Yeah, tough scene.
Hate to see it.
Good luck.
Hate to see
Good luck,
it. Yeah,
Mr. Morris.
Good luck with that,
Coach
Raheem. All right.
Speaking of failed Atlanta head coaches, Arthur Smith is now the Titans OC.
Hey, there you go. Don't know how that's going to work out,
he's
but
bouncing out to a decent position.
Yeah,
I mean, he was the OC for the Titans during their good years in the past, 5 years.
Right, when they were working with like two weapons the whole time. Yeah. Okay.
One of those weapons was Derrick Henry, to be fair.
Yeah, but when it's your only weapon.
Sure. So, I mean, hey, maybe he'll work out there. They can't be much worse than Matt Canada, they hope.
Ideally.
And Eagles hired Kellen Moore to be their new OC. Kellen Moore, I believe, notably, so he was the Chargers OC this year.
He was, yeah, and he was with the Cowboys for a while.
He was with the Cowboys for a while. So
like 4 or 5 years. Maybe not that long, but
it was certainly a while. I'm always questioning when you hire someone who previously worked for your division and got fired. Like, I feel like I'm just not sure that's the right staffing move when they probably have a lot of information on that guy's play calling and play design in building. But hey, I mean, fuck the Eagles. So
Kellen Moore is so funny to me because he's kind of like me, right? He's like one of those guys that just like perpetually looks like 10 years old, younger than he actually is. He has such a baby face.
He really does. How old is he?
He's 35. He'll be a head coach someday, probably within the next 5 years. He's pretty decent.
Yeah, I could certainly see it. He's always led strong offenses. So,
who did he play for in college? Houston?
Let's see.
Boise State.
Boise State.
No, I'm thinking of there was Kellen Moore and then I can't think of the other guy, but there was two of them around the same time, and they were both kind of big standouts. Was it Kellen Moore's wife that looked like a horse? No, she's actually kind of hot. So, who am I thinking of? I'm going to be bothering me all night.
Don't know.
Kellen Moore. It was also a weird name, like Houston University QB 2012. Trayvon Randall. That sure as shit, wasn't it?
Oh, Tavon?
No, yeah.
Trayvon?
I don't know. Let's move on because I'm not going to figure this out. So,
all right. Well, So with those hirings today, I believe the last position that's open is now the Washington Commanders head coach, and they don't have much options. Both the Texans OC and the Lions OC said, "Nah, we're not leaving for that shithole. We're staying in our mildly successful organizations, hoping to develop a young team." So you kind of love to see that.
Mm.
But yeah, the Commanders. I mean, fuck if I know, dude. They're gonna end up with Dan Quinn, probably.
Ugh.
Yeah, yeah, is right.
Ugh. I didn't want to hear that.
Well,
Case
you heard
Keenum.
it.
Case Keenum. That's who I'm
Case
thinking
Keenum.
of.
Now, there's
Case and his wife. Wait, I just typed Jebby. What fucking? I'm having a stroke.
Oh yeah,
His
see what you're
wife is a
saying.
little horsey looking. She's
Little
cute.
bit,
I mean, she's
yeah.
cute, but she's a little horsey looking. She's aged. She's aged well. I'll say that. When she was younger, she kind of looked like God, who does she look like? I don't know. You know what? Hey, speaking of football, I guess. Do you want to kind of just gloss over these games? I know they kind of sucked, but
right. So here's what I'll say about the game. So conference championship, the Ravens were the number one rushing offense in the league this year, and the Chiefs were the number 28 rushing defense. So what do you think the Ravens' offensive game plan would have been? Not to run the ball. You're correct. They ran the ball a all-time low, I believe, like fucking 15 times with their normal like 30 something. So
did he
just let the Chiefs win the game. So that's
might want to
we
repeat
are.
a couple of the last seconds of what you said. You hiccuped there a little bit.
Did I? My internet was not kind.
Spectrum.
Yes, you know, the spec. Yeah. So, where'd you last hear me?
Talking about their game plan.
Right. So, yeah, best rushing offense in the league against one of the worst rushing defenses. You'd think their game plan would be to run the ball. No, they ran the ball less than half the amount they usually do in their games.
Love it.
And shocker, they barely scored.
This game sucked. This game
It was awful.
sucked. And it wasn't just because of Taylor, and it wasn't just because of the Travis thing. This game was just boring to watch. This was Lamar Jackson's worst game, right? Like, it had to have been. There's no way it wasn't.
Well, yeah, he never took off with the ball and ran despite there being wide open gaps, and he turned the ball over multiple times. So
Like
not a good
Lamar
one.
Jackson, who is like just got paid $1 gazillion because he's like, I know we mock dual threat on the show, but he is a dual threat, right? Like this
Right.
dude can chunk it, and this dude can just absolutely haul some ass. And he looked like he was like a pocket passer. Like he never and I didn't like the Chiefs line is not really that great. I mean, they're okay, but they're not contain him great. I don't know what the hell happened here.
There were even pictures of just wide open gaps in front of Lamar, and he just never took off.
Yeah.
Like on the play he got strip sacked on, that was basically, all right, you lose because you're giving the Chiefs 3 points at this point. You guys can't score. He had probably 10 yards open space in front of him. He could have just walked forward. Instead, he got strip sacked. I don't know, man. They're OCs from Georgia.
Oh, there you go.
Best I got. That's best. That's the best I got.
Well, no, let me spell out what happened here, right? So, OC's from Georgia. He's a thug, but more importantly, he's a crook, right? So he definitely has money on this game. Threw it. Big payout. This is why we should ban gambling.
Damn right.
All right. Well, this game sucks.
So that game happened.
So let's talk about how a dream died.
Yeah. Damn, dude. A dream really did die.
It did. I wanted the Lions to win. Like, I really did.
I did too. Me too. That would have probably been the only way I actually attempted to watch the Super Bowl.
And like on paper, right? Like, I feel like they should have won this game.
Yeah, I mean, halftime it was 24-7. You don't really expect them to come back and
No,
lose that one. But
this was one of the most legendary choke jobs in recent memory. Like obviously, you know, fuck, was it Super Bowl 2016 or whatever? The Falcons legendary choke. That's still like the best choke of all time. But this definitely had to be like it's a strong second because you've got like the context here of the Lions, who are a team of destiny. You know, Dan Campbell, he's got this team ready to run through a goddamn brick wall, right? Like they're destined for this. They're going to bring the whole damn city back with this one. And then you score once and just get absolutely demolished in the second half. Just
I mean, it honestly seemed like I don't really know what to say. Like they were just plays where the Lions should have like sealed the game, and instead, like the one play where Brock Purdy just fucking chucks it 50 yards downfield, it bounces off a Lions defender's face mask and lands in the hand of a receiver. Like,
yeah.
Just shit like that kept happening, and like I imagine for Lions fans, it has to be just absolutely enraging.
It's one of those things like that would happen a lot to like Alabama, right? Like in past years, like whenever we would lose like the rare game, it was always on like some bullshit, right? Like absolute bullshit, like some divine extraterrestrial force just had it in for us. Like we couldn't just lose, right? No. We had to lose because God literally said so. That's what happened here, I think. And I think it's because Detroit sucks. Also, Eminem was there, and he's like the Antichrist or something. So that probably didn't help.
So you want me to tell you where it all started going wrong?
Ooh.
What the real problem here was?
Oh, lay it on
So
me.
Dan Campbell, traditionally, he's very much an aggressive, go-for-it kind of guy.
Right.
In fact, he was even somewhat criticized for his two go-for-its in the second half of this game. The very end of the first half, there was at 7 seconds, 10 seconds left on the clock, and it was 4th and goal to 3. They decided to kick a field goal instead of go for it, which is very against what Dan Campbell does. And I don't know if it was because of that, but after that, they just never clicked again and lost because they gave up on the offense.
If I had a nickel for every time a team had lost a huge game because for some inexplicable reason they stopped doing what made them great the entire year, I'd have a couple of dollars.
Oh, for sure.
I'd have probably enough to probably hit the Taco Bell like cheapo menu, and not a lot, not a ton, right? But a fair amount, and it is just absolutely heartbreaking. So I don't know.
It is.
Total Detroit death, I think is what we're saying here.
Yep.
So
good luck, Lions, because not going to be easy getting back.
No, it's not. But yeah. Ooh. Yeah. This always feels like one of those things where like, you know, a lot of people were on board, and then now maybe I think we might see some people, you know what I mean? Kind of checking out. It's like, where can I get a better deal?
Yeah.
I hear New Orleans is nice this time of year. Stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, especially their O-line, because you know people be paying top dollar for those good O-line players.
Oh, yeah. So that'll be, man, you remember, what was it, the Rams? Remember when they won the Super Bowl in what, 21?
Yeah.
And then 22 they came back and they were just like, it was fire sale. And it was a whole new team that next year. And they didn't have a winning season, did they? I want to say
Stafford got hurt early on, so that certainly didn't help.
LA Rams.
I think they had a winning season. I just don't think.
No, they went 5-12.
Really?
Yeah.
In 2022, they went 5-12.
In 2022, they went 5-12 after going 12-5 and winning a Super Bowl, a pretty tight Super Bowl, but they won it. They went, let's just turn that son of a bitch around, and they went 5-12.
Man, I still wish the Bengals won that game.
Yeah, I feel like they deserved it.
They did.
Like
they were the real team of destiny.
Yeah, like there's no such thing as deserving to win a game, but they deserve to win that game.
Right.
Because I don't think it's ever going to happen now. Not with Joe Burrow. Like Joe Burrow's clock is we've talked all season about like he's an injury magnet, right? And he's not old. He came into the league in 21, so he's only been there 3 years, and has not gotten a full year.
25 to 27.
Yeah, he's got a good while in him.
He's 27.
I just don't think it's going to happen with the Bengals. I feel like Burrow might be the kind of guy like Mac Jones. I'll get laughed at for that, but you know what I mean. The kind of guy that's like even though he looked good with the first team he got drafted by, I think he's going to be known more with the next team that he goes to. So,
right,
that's just my theory. I don't know.
I mean,
Cincinnati just sucks. So
I do see something like that. I also kind of see a possibility of with how much he gets hurt. Like, there's a very real possibility. Like, I know Joe Burrow's Ohio guy bleeds football, but
yeah.
I think there's a very real chance he pulls an Andrew Luck and dips early just because the amount he gets hurt.
I wouldn't blame him, honestly. You know, because like Tua was kind of the same situation. He seemed to have figured it out. Thankfully, hey, whole year without a concussion. Let's go. Congratulations. But yeah, Joe Burrow. And I mean, it's like big ones too. Like stuff that's like when he gets older, everything is going to hurt. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm seeing some breaking news here.
Oh, yeah?
Boston College head coach Jeff Hafley is expected to leave to become the DC of the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, it's kind of random.
He's quoted on giving his reasoning being that college coaching has become fundraising, NIL, and recruiting your own team and transfers. There's no time to coach football anymore.
So true. Hey, old Mick figured that out.
And I mean, shit, especially when you're like a low end Power 5 team. Like,
oh yeah.
How are you supposed to keep your players?
Yeah, it's like I was long an opponent of paying football players. I still am, because everyone who else was an opponent of paying football players is now 100% vindicated, because it has quite literally ruined the sport. Now, I'm kind of okay with it from a biased perspective because I'm a fan of a school that can like afford it. Alabama will always be okay, right? But look to my alma mater, Southern. They're screwed. Because I think back like a couple of years. And by a couple of years, I mean 30. And obviously I wasn't paying attention to football at the time because I was still, you know, like a literal child. But you take an instance of a Southern Miss who has a generation, not even a generational talent, because generational implies that it may happen again in a few years, like a one-time program defining player like Brett Favre. Brett Favre in the NIL era plays for Southern maybe like half a year, if he goes at all, right? He maybe plays that first year and it's like, oh, people are like, oh shit, what the hell? This guy's great. And then millions of NIL dollars fly at him and he's like, I guess I'm moving to fucking Ann Arbor, you know?
Yeah, for real.
So, and which is crazy to me. I like, for a lot of reasons, right? Because so for the one thing, like, my thing has always been is like, I don't really, and this goes for anything. This isn't just sports. This is anything. I don't think we should give 18 and 19 and 20-year-olds millions of dollars, because it has never ended well, ever. I would be, I think anyone would be hard pressed to find one instance of history where that turned out really well, except maybe like 1,000 years ago or something, like with Kings or something. I mean, that's different.
Shit, even NFL players, like, they get millions of dollars in their young and mid 20s, right, and most of them piss it all away.
If there's anything I've learned,
having terrible post league lives. If
there's anything I've learned, and this could, I know tons of people in their 20s will yell cope at me, but I'm just saying, just hang on, think back to this in 10 years, and you'll know I'm right. But then also, even worse, from watching Fish Tank over the past year, people in their 20s, even up to like 27, 26, 27, are still, in our culture today, mentally, are ostensibly children. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Like, go watch Fish Tank for 5 minutes and tell me those are adults. And honestly, I think it's one of those things that I don't even think it's like a getting older thing. I think it's like a societal thing with the generation. And I know, I hear it. I'm doing the old man, like, yeah, kids these days. But I legitimately think kids these days are getting worse.
No, I
Because
mean, I don't disagree with you, but I think I personally have some beefy views on that, so I don't know that this is the show for that. But
sure. But I'm trying to dance around that. So because I was like thinking about it like today. You know, I went to the museum. There was a new exhibit came through. We'll talk about that on a later show in a bit. But like the guy who he didn't found the museum. His parents founded the museum in his honor after he died of something, and he was like 23 or something. But like you see like a portrait of him, and he's just like a grown ass man who was like a world traveler and had like fucking like funds named after him and went to like Harvard and stuff. It's like just a grown ass dude, and he's like 23. And now 23-year-olds, like, I don't know what they're doing these days, but it ain't great. You know, and even like the top end, most successful 23-year-olds are like what, streamers or something, and that ain't great.
Yep.
That ain't good. So I legitimately don't think, and it could very well be cope, but I legitimately just don't think it's like a getting older thing. I just legitimately think like people are worse, and we shouldn't be giving them millions of dollars. Even if like, of course, you know, I'm not like a huge capitalist guy. I mean, it's all right, but it's better than most alternatives, I guess. But like, it's one of those things where it's like, I understand that they essentially create the revenue. They are the product, and they should be seeing some of that. But I don't think they should be seeing all of it, because that's just ridiculous, and it's ruining NIL and it's NIL and the transfer portal, right? One or the other would be fine, but it's with both of them, it is awful. And then with tampering, like tampering just goes like no one cares, right? Like who was it? It was our I think it was our O lineman or something. He just straight out came out and said like, oh, in the middle of last season, Iowa reached out to me and said, hey, if you're frustrated at Alabama, you come back. Yeah. And it's like, that is
Proctor or something like that.
Yeah, Proctor. That's it. That's like, that is the definition of tampering. Will anything happen? Hell no. Don't get me started, man.
All right, I won't.
I won't. Hey, you know what you can get me started on?
The Royal Rumble.
Ration. Hell yeah, dude. My favorite pay-per-view of the year, man. I like this more than WrestleMania. Well, maybe not more than WrestleMania, but it's a very close second.
I really like the match that is the Rumble.
Yeah, I like the structure of, because it's like, it's what the Royal Rumble matches are like, everything great about wrestling all at once, right? Because you got like surprise entrances, like there's like tons of like little micro matches within the main match, so you just get a little bit of everything, the whole thing. And this was pretty good. Okay, as far as the two Rumble matches went, great show, but the turd sandwich in between, not a fan.
Best.
That Fatal 4-Way was bad. Like that was bad.
It was bad. I did like the ending to the KO Logan Paul match. I know
that was good,
but I enjoyed it.
That was good, because I think that's leading into something else. I think we'll see a rematch of that. Maybe not WrestleMania, but could be. And I like it. Logan Paul's matches so far, he's like 4 for 4 in the past year for really good matches. Like him and Ricochet match was really, him and Ricochet match was really good. Him and Seth Rollins at Last Mania was great. I loved that. With KSI coming out in the prime bottle outfit. That was hilarious. I don't even like either of them. I'm not a YouTube guy or whatever, but I was like, hell yeah, brother. So yeah, that was good. That was okay. Logan Paul is always good, but that Fatal 4-Way, man, like, oh my God. Like what? Why?
It was rough.
Why? What was even the point of that? And now it's just over. Like it's over. And I guess that's why that's what it was. It was like, all right, all three of you are done.
Well, I guess they're kind of stuck in the whole, they're not going to take the belt off Roman until Mania at the earliest. Right. So it's like, but they also have to have him in PPVs. So it's like, they kind of got to book these somewhat pointless matches.
I just like, because no one came out of this looking better, right? Like the three three challengers looked like chumps, more or less. LA Knight looked pretty good. He had some good spots, but Randy Orton was just there. AJ Styles had a couple of good spots, but he was just kind of also there. And then Roman Reigns I feel like he spent most of the match like outside the ring, like not really doing anything.
Yeah. He took everyone's finisher.
Yeah.
And then
a couple of times, actually. Yeah. And like Roman Reigns has gotten to like the late aughts, early teens level of like John Cena booking, where it's just like he's just like invincible, right? He's just like Super Cena at this point.
Right. I mean, my biggest issue with Roman's booking is that they don't let him finish a match clean anymore.
Yeah.
Like they always have to bring the bloodline out.
Right. I get it. I get why you do that, but at the same time, just like let him be that guy because he's starting to look like just a chump champion.
Right. Because right now, all his recent matches have been Roman gets kind of fucked on for a while.
Right.
Then someone from the bloodline interrupts the pin, and then he pulls off the win.
Right.
And
every single time.
That doesn't really feel like you're undisputed universal champion. That kind of feels like a guy who's just not him anymore. And I do like Roman when he's like a full character. So
that's what was great when I came back around to watching
unleash him.
When I came back around to watching last year, like that's kind of who he was then. Is he was still like he's the final boss. Like that music hits, it's boss music, right? And now
like, especially loser. Like since we are presuming Cody's gonna win and finish his story at WrestleMania, like
maybe
I would have liked them to just. I feel like it would have been better if just Roman straight up came out there and squashed all three of them. Just build Roman to look like a super intimidating wrestler again. Mm-hmm. Just to make that pop when Cody wins even bigger. Instead, they just kind of did that, but whatever.
Well, the good news is the Rumble matches were great.
They were.
The women's was actually surprisingly really good because we have three kind of shocking entrances. So we had Naomi came back. That wasn't a super shocking. We knew she was coming back, but it was still a surprise.
Right.
So Naomi comes back. A huge pop for her, by the way. Huge pop for Bailey too, which was crazy. I didn't expect that, but I mean, people were kind of going nuts over Bailey, which is kind of cool because I feel like she's been in like a bad spot for like the past year or so. Like no one's really giving a shit about her.
They have her as a heel character in kayfabe right now, and it's not super working out. Like I think obviously they're building for the face turn again, but her and obviously she's kind of getting face pops now, so I think it's only inevitable at this point. And who else came out? They had the TNA woman.
Yeah, Jordan Grace, who is an absolute unit, by the way.
Yeah, that is one beefy fucking woman.
Yeah, not ugly, but not super attractive either. So
too muscular for me.
Yeah, a little too muscular for me. Not quite my type. And then of course, it's kind of to our shock because we thought she was hurt. Jade Cargill, who my dad kept saying looked like a man. So,
well, shit. I didn't think she was hurt. I thought, like, my understanding of it was like her quality from AEW just wasn't high enough, and so she had to spend a few months in the performance center to. Really
I could have sworn she got. I could have sworn I heard she got hurt. That's what I could have sworn. I could be tripping. I don't know. She's pretty good though. Man, she lifted up that big old bitch Nia Jax. Hell yeah, brother.
The pop when she threw Nia Jax out of the ring. Oh boy.
It's so funny about Nia Jax because like she's a heel, but then also people just legitimately just don't like her. Right. So that's really good. It is gonna be funny when I guess now with Vince gone, it really doesn't matter because they probably won't try it. But I was gonna say it would be funny that if they tried to like do that bullshit where they like try and force her to be a face, but like no one's buying it, right?
Yeah,
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I know she gets a lot of hate, but personally, I appreciate that she's there on Raw because the Raw women's division is kind of stale with just how dominant Mommy's been over every other character. So just having her come in as kind of like a literal wrecking ball, since she's so fucking fat. It's been fresh, even if she's not the top tier worker that some others might be.
We also had two NXTs came in. Tiffany Stratton, who I do have to issue an apology to. I could have sworn she was British. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe the same reason I thought Jordan Love was white. So I do have to apologize to Miss Stratton. You are not British. You are apparently from Minnesota, which is worse, I think.
Yeah, these days.
Worse.
Minnesota Somalia now?
It's something like that, yeah. She is dating Ludwig Kaiser. So kind of a W on his part, honestly.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah, big Ludwig Kaiser guy.
oh yeah.
And then my girl, Roxanne Perez, who I actually just found. I was looking up pictures of her. Not weird, not in like a weird way, just looking up. And one of this came up from her when she was like, I don't know when this was. It was a while ago. And she took a picture with Dolph Ziggler when she was like a kid. She was a very ugly kid. A very ugly kid, which, hey, good news. She's rather attractive now. So, big Roxanne Perez guy. Kind of popped myself when I saw it. I was like, yeah, it's Roxanne Perez. Yay. So, yeah, pretty decent match. Bailey went over. Obviously, we're kind of set up because she's not gonna confront Mommy. We just know she's not.
No, she's gonna face EO.
So we're setting up the EO, and the EO thing is like weird because you say it's like they're gonna try and push her as a face, but EO is like not really a heel. So,
well, Damage Control as a unit is a quote unquote heel in kayfabe, even if they get big pops, but
right. But EO like never even like acts like a heel, so I just don't really know what's going on. And the Kabuki Warriors, of course, they are heelish to the extreme, which I love, by the way.
They did as a group, beat the shit out of every woman that tried to get recruited for their War Games match.
Oh,
that did happen.
Okay, okay, all right, yeah.
They don't do it a lot, but
they don't do it a lot. Okay, yeah, I'm hearing it now. So,
yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but Dakota Kai did have the knee brace off in her appearance on Raw.
I didn't.
So I feel like that's kind of signing that, hey, it might be Dakota Kai is the one that does the first move.
Could see that. I could even see like the breakup happening at Mania, right? Where Kai like comes in and interrupts the match and prevents Bayley from winning. Something like that.
All right.
But I don't know. That's just me thinking. I'm not the one that can predict shit around here. Apparently, unlike you, who just completely out of the blue called the first two entries in the Royal Rumble, which was honestly a little nuts.
So SmackDown Friday. Here's my thinking for that.
All right. Okay.
When they were doing the whole number picking, but not showing the crowd, Jimmy Uso picked his, and his response to it was no yeet. So that kind of assumed that maybe he got an early one.
Mm-hmm.
And that got me thinking, like, what would be huge with Jimmy entering early? Obviously, Jay also entering early.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like, starting a potential Jimmy versus Jay at WrestleMania match. Hey, I'm here for it. I'm also on Team Jimmy. Jimmy's better than Jay. I said it.
Wow.
Yeah. Huh?
Wow. That's all I have to say. Just wow.
It's the truth.
Wow. Okay. I mean, hey,
Man, speaking of truth, how about R-Truth coming out during the women's
I forgot
Rumble?
to mention that was hilarious. Like, that's another part, kind of in the same vein of what I'm talking about. Like, what's so great about Rumble matches? It's a little bit of everything. You even get like the comedy segments, which there wasn't a lot of this year. But
I was already laughing,
yeah.
And then when he hit Adam Pearce with, "You're telling me those are all women?"
That is so bad. I love R-Truth.
That one got me.
I love R-Truth. He's so great. But yeah, so the women. Oh, we had Andrade come back, who I think we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, we knew he was coming.
He's porking Charlotte Flair, right? Yes.
All I really know about Andrade is he's banging Charlotte Flair.
That's what I just said.
Oh.
What's it porking?
All right, I don't. I thought you said something. I heard like he's a pork and something player. I have no idea what you meant there. So, listen, my ears didn't work. Okay,
that's fine. All right, that's fair. Sure. Yeah, Andrade came back. We had Hayes come in, which you big Hayes guy, right? Big Hayes guy.
Bigger Trick Williams guy, though.
Yeah, okay, all right,
gotta
whatever.
say.
We had a little back and forth between Lashley and Cross. That's definitely setting up this year. Hopefully for Lashley, his opponent doesn't die this year. So, thumbs up on that one. So I did not mean that disrespectfully. I just meant, he did get kind of screwed last year because
now
I'm sad. Yeah, fucking hell. All right. Cody Rhodes, of course, won. Got Braun Breaker. Ooh, hey.
Yeah, Braun Breaker, who was
we're gonna see him on
reportedly the Brock Lesnar replacement.
Yeah, we're gonna see him on the main roster soon. I think he's good.
I believe he will probably be called up to the SmackDown after this weekend.
Could be. I'd love to see him.
Vengeance Day is this weekend, and I think that's that's going to be the final match for Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker to me kind of looks like one of those guys. It's like he's good, he's great. He's working. He's going to be over, but I feel like he feels like a guy slightly out of time, right? Like he feels a guy that would have been like huge in like the late '90s, early aughts.
He feels like he just has a bit more brutality to him than most of the current wrestlers.
Well, I'm just talking about like his kind of his look, but yeah, that too.
Oh, that too. Like
yeah. He feels like an Attitude Era guy, which that's hey,
yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Same.
Yeah, big Braun Breaker guy. He's gonna be heavily over, dude. We had Omos. Loved that.
We did. The Homo sapiens are eating good. He's back.
I prefer homosexuals, so.
Well, that's valid.
And then Pat McAfee, of course, which that was my saw the future moment of the night, which was weird because like when we were talking about it, I was like, did this happen before? And like I distinctly remembered it like detail for detail happening. Apparently it never has. And then I watched it happen. I was like, all right, well, fuck it, I guess I can see the future now. His bit apparently ad-libbed, hilarious.
Yeah, they did not tell him, reportedly.
Bronson Reed and Omos and Braun as well are up in there, and Pat just gets on like the ring, the side of the ring, and he looks in there and he's like, I don't know about this. And he just steps in and they all kind of crowd around him. He just like, nope, and just steps back out. And he goes over to Cole and says, why did you let me in there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, we love Pat McAfee. So,
he is now also full-time announcing Raw.
That is great. So
it is great.
That is great.
I believe that means Wade Barrett will get moved to SmackDown to replace Kevin Patrick.
I'm okay with that too.
Yep.
I'm okay with that too. I'll see. CM Punk, before CM Punk got hurt in this, tore his tricep. Big, man, tough story for that guy, huh? Tough
story. Do love what they're having Drew McIntyre do with it, though.
That's just such easy heat. I love that. I love it. I love a good easy heat. I don't like cheap heat, but I like an easy heat. And like,
bro came out and just said straight up, "I was preying on your downfall." I felt good when it happened.
Oh man, that's all time right there. That's all time. Love it.
He keeps tweeting about it too.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Cody, of course, goes over. He's gonna fight big dumb Samoan guy at Mania. This is a pretty good Royal Rumble. I don't think it was the best I've ever seen. I think last year's was better. I think, but this year's was also really good.
Wouldn't have mind like another surprise or two on the men's Rumble.
It was a little light. I'm wondering kind of what was going on there. I think the point we're kind of at the point with like the men's division. There's not many surprises left, right?
Right. I think I think in my personal opinion, the biggest issue WWE has right now is that they aren't moving titles around at all.
Yeah. So, big dumb Samoan guy has obviously had his for like 100 years, right?
Yeah.
And Seth has had his since the inception, which was June.
It would have been after Mania, so
it was not long after Mania.
Yeah, it was like right after Mania, probably June.
I'm trying to see if I can find it here. Man, he has a long ass wiki article. Jeez Louise.
Established April 24th. So I guess even earlier.
So like it was like 2 weeks after Mania, 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, that's nuts. What was the last title change? U.S. champion.
Yeah,
and that was
the last singles title would be U.S. champion. Yeah.
October.
It would have been.
We got it up.
Yeah, because he won November it before 4th. Elimination
November 4th.
Chamber.
Yeah, November 4th.
Or before, not before Chamber. Before, did he win it at Survivor Series or before that?
November 4th. I think that would have had to been Survivor Series. Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
All right. Yeah. So he won at Survivor Series, which that's been a while, but they've been kind of cooking with that. Logan Paul reportedly has signed a full-time WWE contract now, so
kind of based. I'm just glad it's not on Theory anymore. Honestly, Theory sucked.
Oh yeah, that was
Theory was bad.
Not a good run.
No, not ideal.
And of course, the men's tag titles. I mean, we really need those to be split again.
Yeah. Just for something.
Right, and I mean, hell, like they don't even let Priest cash in with literally one of the title holders being hurt and wouldn't be able to defend it. Like,
Yeah, okay, so like I went back to look at just specifically this title, the USA Championship. In 2019, the US Championship changed hands 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times in 1 year. It changed twice last year.
yeah,
And
those like low mid card titles need to move way more often.
yeah, the US, honestly, even the international championship, Gunther has done all he can with it. I don't know honestly why they haven't put it off him yet.
I feel like it's just they have so many top level guys right now that they don't want to take a belt off Gunther because they can't give him a shot at one of the better titles.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the problem. And you can't just introduce new top level titles because they have to have some level of prestige. Like that was kind of obviously on Raw, that was kind of the whole thing that Seth Rollins was pitching to Cody Rhodes. But which I thought it fell flat because he was like, oh, which title do you want? The one that has prestige or this one that I say sounds better? And it's like the prestige one. that one. I don't want to go with yours is less than a year old, brother. I don't give a shit about that.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just they need to say. I'm going to say something controversial here. It's not controversial at all. 24/7 championship, loved it. Bring it back. Really good.
Oh yeah.
Bring it back. And obviously it was kind of a joke title, but it added something. God, they need like a TV title. You know, like a lot of other promotions have TV titles, right? Like have one of those, and that way you know, right? Like it's gonna change hands, and we're gonna see it because it's gonna be on TV, right? God, man, bring back like the cruiserweight title. Just fuck something, man. Just something. It's frustrating going into a pay-per-view just automatically saying it's like, all right, ain't nothing changing here.
Yep.
And a lot of that I think is downstream from the Roman Reigns thing. That guy's got to lose that. That guy's got to lose that title. So, all right. Well, hey, next week we got the Pro Bowl. Probably watch that. And that's it. That's literally it. Jeez Louise. Oh, no.
That's the end of football.
Oh, no. Oh, no. It sucks, man. What are we gonna? What are we gonna do?
We'll talk about wrestling. Talk some United Football League, maybe.
Oh, that's coming up. All right. Well, see y'all next week.
Short episodes again.
Anyway.